What if that old tire sitting forgotten in your garage, or leaning against your fence, wasn't trash at all, but one of the cheapest, sturdiest, most surprisingly effective planters you could ever build? And what if I told you the real question isn't whether a tire planter can grow, it's how to do it the smart way so what you grow in it is genuinely healthy. Stick with me, because by the end of this, you're going to know exactly how to turn an old tire into a thriving garden feature, what to grow in it, and what to actually watch out for. Let's answer the big question right up front, because it's the one everyone asks first. Yes, a tire planter absolutely can grow, and grow well. Tires are essentially free, or nearly free. They're already shaped like a container. They hold soil beautifully, and their black rubber exterior actually absorbs heat from the sun, which can give certain heat-loving plants a genuine head start in cooler, spring weather. Across the United States, tire planters have been a popular backyard DIY project for decades, especially among gardeners looking to repurpose materials, save money, and add a bit of rustic, colorful charm to a small yard or garden border. That said, being honest and thorough matters here. There are some genuine considerations worth understanding before you fill a tire with soil and plant. And I want to walk you through those, honestly, rather than just telling you what sounds good. Let's start with how to actually build one, because the process itself is refreshingly simple. Choose a used tire, ideally one that's already been removed from service rather than a brand new one, since this is a wonderful way to keep something out of a landfill. Give it a thorough scrub with soap and water to remove any road grime, oil residue, or debris clinging to the rubber. From here, you have two main approaches. You can plant directly into the tire as is, which is the fastest option. Or you can paint the exterior with an exterior-grade paint for a more polished look. And a bit of added surface protection. Many gardeners enjoy painting tires in bright colors and stacking 2 or 3 together to create taller, more dramatic planters. Drill a handful of drainage holes into the sidewall near the bottom if the tire doesn't already have some natural gaps. Set your tire in your chosen location and fill it with quality potting soil. Blend it generously with compost. If you want extra peace of mind about anything, potentially transferring from the rubber into your soil, lining the interior of the tire with a heavy-duty plastic liner or a fabric grow bag before adding soil creates a physical barrier between the rubber and your plant's root zone, a simple extra step that many experienced gardeners recommend, particularly for anyone planning to grow food crops. Now, about that safety consideration, since it's genuinely worth addressing directly, rather than glossing over. Tires are made using a blend of rubber, steel belting, and various chemical compounds, and there is legitimate, ongoing research examining whether trace amounts of substances like zinc, and other compounds used in tire manufacturing, can leach into soil over time. Particularly, in more acidic growing conditions, current scientific understanding suggests that any leaching tends to be extremely gradual and generally limited to the immediate soil. Directly touching the tire's interior surface, and studies specifically measuring uptake into edible plant tissue have generally found the practical risk to be low for typical home gardening use, especially with the precautions mentioned above. Given this, many experienced gardeners take a reasonably balanced approach, using tire planters freely and enthusiastically for ornamental flowers, where any theoretical soil contact concerns are essentially a non-issue, while reserving root vegetables specifically for other growing methods, since root crops spend their entire growing cycle in direct, prolonged contact with the soil closest to the tire's inner wall. For above-ground vegetables like tomatoes, peppers, or leafy greens, using a liner as described above is a simple, low-effort way to grow with genuine confidence. With that groundwork covered, let's talk about what actually thrives in a tire planter. Flowering annuals like marigolds, petunias, zinnias, and geraniums are absolutely wonderful choices. Their cheerful colors also pair beautifully with a painted tire's rustic charm. Herbs like rosemary, thyme, and oregano do particularly well too, since these Mediterranean natives actually appreciate the extra warmth a dark tire absorbs from the sun. For vegetables, above-ground crops like tomatoes, Peppers, squash, and cucumbers are excellent matches, especially when you take advantage of a tire's naturally warm soil to get an earlier start in spring than an in-ground bed would typically allow. Now let's talk about light and temperature, because a tire planter's unique material properties genuinely change how you should think about placement compared to a traditional container. Most flowering plants and vegetables still need 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight daily to thrive, so choose your sunniest available spot. But because black rubber absorbs and holds heat so effectively, tire planters run noticeably warmer than plastic or terracotta containers, particularly during intense summer sun. This is a genuine advantage in cooler climates, or during early spring planting, giving heat-loving plants a real boost. But during a serious summer heat wave, that same heat absorption can occasionally push soil temperatures high enough to stress more delicate plants, so it's worth watching your soil temperature during peak summer and considering a coat of light-colored paint if you're in a particularly hot region, since lighter colors reflect rather than absorb solar heat. There's genuine scientific reasoning behind this heat behavior. Dark surfaces absorb a significantly higher percentage of incoming solar radiation compared to light-colored surfaces, a well-established principle in basic thermodynamics that explains why a black tire in direct sun can feel noticeably hotter to the touch than a white one nearby. This same principle has actually been studied specifically in agricultural contexts. Research on soil warming techniques has shown that dark mulches and dark-colored containers can measurably increase soil temperature in the root zone, which some growers intentionally use to extend growing seasons in cooler climates. On a completely different note, there's also meaningful research around the psychological and environmental benefits of upcycling projects like this one specifically. Studies on sustainable behavior and well-being have found that people who engage in reuse and repurposing projects, rather than simply buying new materials, report a stronger sense of environmental connection and personal satisfaction, essentially the same psychological reward gardening already provides, amplified further by the knowledge that you kept something out of a landfill in the process. Watering a tire planter follows familiar container gardening principles, with one small adjustment worth knowing. Because the dark rubber retains heat so effectively, soil inside a tire planter can dry out somewhat faster than soil in a standard plastic pot during hot weather. So check moisture by pressing a finger about 2 inches into the soil, watering deeply whenever it feels dry rather than sticking to a fixed schedule. Water at the base of your plants rather than overhead, and water early in the morning whenever possible, giving your plants time to absorb moisture before the day's heat accelerates evaporation from that warm, dark surface. Fertilizing and pruning in a tire planter follow the same general rules as any container garden. Because container soil has a limited volume, nutrients deplete faster than they would in the ground, so work compost into your soil at planting time and follow up with a balanced fertilizer every 3 to 4 weeks during the active growing season. Avoid over-fertilizing, since excess nutrients can build up in a contained space more noticeably than in open garden soil. Pruning, meanwhile, follows standard practices for whatever you're growing. Deadhead spent flowers to encourage continued blooming, pinch back herbs regularly to keep them bushy rather than leggy, and remove yellowing or damaged leaves promptly, so your plant's energy stays focused on healthy new growth. When selecting a tire for your project, a few small details make a meaningful difference in how well your finished planter performs. Larger tires, like those from trucks or tractors, offer significantly more soil volume than a standard passenger car tire, which means better moisture retention, more room for root development, and generally, less frequent watering, making them a smart choice if you can source one. Many tire shops are happy to give away old tires for free, simply because it saves them the disposal cost. Whichever size you choose, inspect the tire for any obvious damage, deep cracks, or areas where the rubber has started to break down significantly, since a tire in reasonably intact condition will hold its shape and structure far longer once filled with heavy, moist soil. Steel-belted tires, which make up the vast majority of what you'll find, are perfectly fine to use. The steel belting sits safely embedded within the rubber, and isn't something you need to worry about during normal gardening use. There's also a fun design element worth exploring once you've got the basics down. Tires lend themselves beautifully to creative, layered arrangements that go well beyond a single planter sitting alone in the yard. Stacking 2 or 3 tires of the same size, offset slightly to create a spiral or staggered look, gives you significantly more planting surface and a genuinely eye-catching vertical structure, similar in spirit to the bucket wall concept, but with a distinctly different, more rustic character. Painting each tire a different color, or using a single unifying color across an entire cluster, lets you tailor the look to match your yard's existing style, whether that's a bright, playful cottage garden feel, or a more subdued, natural aesthetic, using earth-toned paints. Some gardeners even cut a scalloped or wave-patterned edge into the tire's inner sidewall using a utility knife before painting, creating a more polished flower pot silhouette instead of the straight, flat rim a tire naturally has, though this step is entirely optional and purely about appearance rather than function. If you're gardening somewhere with genuinely hot summers, it's worth reiterating that a lighter paint color isn't just a style choice, it's a genuinely practical one, since it meaningfully reduces how much extra heat your soil absorbs during the most intense stretches of summer. Conversely, if you're gardening in a cooler climate, or specifically trying to get heat-loving plants like tomatoes and peppers off to an earlier start in spring, sticking with the tire's natural black rubber exterior, or choosing a dark paint color, actually works in your favor by maximizing that beneficial heat absorption, exactly when your plants need the extra warmth most. Even with careful setup, beginners occasionally run into a few common tire planter problems, so let's troubleshoot the most frequent ones. If your soil seems to dry out unusually fast, especially during summer, this is typically that heat absorption effect at work. Adding a layer of mulch on top of your soil helps insulate against rapid moisture loss. If you notice standing water pooling inside the tire after rain or watering, check that your drainage holes haven't become blocked with soil or debris, and drill a couple of additional holes if drainage seems consistently poor. If plants placed directly against the interior tire wall seem to struggle more than those toward the center, this can occasionally relate to that heat and soil contact effect we discussed earlier. Simply keep your most sensitive plants toward the middle of the container and consider adding a liner if you haven't already. And if you're growing edible crops and want additional peace of mind, remember that a simple fabric grow bag or heavy plastic liner placed inside the tire before adding soil essentially eliminates any direct soil to rubber contact, giving you the rustic look and sturdy structure of a tire planter, with an added layer of separation for your food crops. What makes tire planters such an enduringly popular project across American backyards is this genuine combination of practicality and charm. They're free, or nearly free, they're remarkably sturdy and long-lasting, they hold heat in a way that can meaningfully extend your growing season, and with just a little bit of thoughtful preparation, a liner here, a coat of paint there, they can be used with genuine confidence for almost anything you'd want to grow. This is a project that turns something most people would otherwise pay to dispose of into a genuinely productive, good-looking addition to your yard. So take a look at that old tire sitting in your garage or leaning against your shed, and instead of hauling it off to be disposed of, give it one more purpose. Scrub it down, maybe grab a can of bright paint, drill a few drainage holes, and fill it with soil and a handful of your favorite flowers, herbs, or vegetables. You'll be surprised at just how well it grows, and how good it feels to turn something old into something genuinely alive. If you love learning about seasonal flowering plants, vegetables, gardening tips, and nature care, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Nature Nurture Hub, your home for year-round garden inspiration. Let's keep growing together.